There you go. That's a picture of me walking along, holding my stomach in and trying to look interesting. Does that look interesting? Oh, what is it? It's somebody staring at me, saying, "What are you doing in this building?" I'm just looking. Don't. I'm looking away now. You can hit a lamppost. That's what's going on in that picture. Having a look. This is it. I'm only joking. It was in Houston, actually. I was on the way to NASA to do a really big gig. But anyway, fascinating stuff. Over the weekend, I chatted to my parents. I'm very blessed. My parents are still with me. And also something I wanted to share with you, and I will do it in a post on LinkedIn and beyond. I think sometime this week. I talked to my parents and I interviewed them. Put together 12 questions that you'd always want to ask your parents, and they probably always wanted to share, but they never got around to saying, who are you? What was your biggest achievement in life? What did you regret most? All this kind of stuff. I'll give you full 12 questions in a future episode. If you no longer have your parents with you, and I feel for you on this, then let your kids interview you. It's a really powerful thing to do. I can't tell you the stuff that came out of that conversation. And I was going, really? My goodness, I can't believe that. I didn't know that. My grandparents, what? Something you won't know. A wow about this whole story. My great-grandparents, one of them, from my great-granddad, was actually the treasurer in the political party opposite Adolf Hitler. Opposition to Adolf Hitler at the beginning of the Second World War. Did you know that? And as a result of that, when they fled to China. Look at me. Did you know that? No, you didn't know that. I didn't know that. I found out by talking to my parents about it. Loads of fascinating stuff, which I won't share with you because it's got nothing to do with you. But I want it, and I want it to share with my daughter and my wife because it's fascinating conversations. And so I would urge you to go ahead and do that. Today's show, I'm going to share with you a ton of really interesting stuff as well. Dave Crane Daily, give me your thoughts, your comments, connect with me, follow me on all the different social media, and grab yourself a coffee. It's only going to be about 10 minutes, but I guarantee it's going to be worth your while. Cheers. So we're in a Batcave today. Are we in a Batcave today, Dave? You weren't earlier. I know. I slipped down my pole. Actually, that just sounds bad, doesn't it? I slipped down my pole. If you know the original 60s Batman, then you'll know that he and Robin had a pole. Actually, if you looked at the original one, you think we shared each other's poles. It was basically a bat pole, so it's like a fireman's pole if it still happened. You jump on it and you go all the way down to the end of the pole and you end up here in this wonderful Batcave. That's what the joke is. And what I said earlier just sounded inappropriate if I wanted to... Look, forget it, moving on. Today's show is all about getting you ways of making money. If you want to connect with me and miss every single show, then do that. But if you want to connect with me and also catch every single show, then go to my YouTube channel that looks like this. Go to youtube.com/Dave Crane, and there we are. And it looks like that. If I go up slightly, it shows you to subscribe, and all the videos and stuff that you could ever want are here as well. Also, if you want to know how to use speaking to pitch your business, then I have a very special project for you here. It only costs you $19 to learn all the secrets of what I do when I go onto a stage. If this will allow you, this is people who've worked with me, testimonials from lawyers and all sorts of people who are incredible. There's also 10,000 dirhams worth of digital gifts in addition for you spending the $19. I know it sounds ridiculous, but I want you to get the very best ways that you can test and so on, and it's fantastic. So if you have just started a business, are you wanting to pitch yourself for a business, and you want people to look and say, wow, this will tell you how I work an audience. It'll also get your head in the space for being able to be a speaker, because once you've got your head in that space, there's incredible things that can happen, because you're able to go out and not only talk about business, but grow your personal brand, connect with people. Or even if you're not interested in particularly growing your own personal business, but you want to just get more high in your existing company, then it does that as well. Because when you're able to talk in a room full of people, then your conversations are seen as being more valued than people who don't speak. In any given group, there's people who are really, really smart, but they don't like to talk about it, or they don't know what they're going to say if they open their mouths and they're going to feel stupid. So they don't say anything. Even if you're rubbish at what you wanted to say, but you say it really effectively, you can become the president of the United States or any country. In fact, you could be king of the world. Moving on from that subject, let's go back to some other stuff next. Right then, I never talk about politics. I don't intend to start that right now. And I wasn't talking about Trump or Biden or Obama or Bush or anybody else. All right, moving on. Okay, so when you go to Flipboard, this is a website I love. It's my favorite website because you can create your own special magazines. And you can put down the subjects that you're interested in. So you can talk about movies, you can talk about celebrity, you can talk about accounting, talk about, I don't know, toenail clippings. Probably if you do a hashtag toenail clippings, all the things will go into your magazine on toenail clippings. You can knock yourself out, and you probably should. But this one that I have, Dave Crane here, I talk about public speaking and things that really interest me, all about this. So you can have a look at it here. Subscribe to flipboard.com and just find Dave Crane and follow me here. I've got loads of stuff about presentation skills, about how to deal with audiences, disruption, launching your own business, marketing, branding, and things that I find fascinating. But you can create your own magazine as well. One thing I want to share with you here is 5 ways to build your own personal brand. Now, I haven't talked about this before, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because I'm now talking to people and doing profiles on this show of your LinkedIn profile. Not to say look at your LinkedIn profile particularly, but if you're interested in speaking and you want to know more about how to launch yourself as a speaker, then this is a great opportunity for you, because I will do it for you on the show for free. Just send me an email to the address that you'll see, which is info@davecraneglobal.com. I'll repeat it again, info@davecraneglobal.com, or just send me a direct message for any of my social media, and then just send me an email, dead simple, saying, Dave, I want to be a speaker, I fancy doing this and that, I don't know how to do it, and I'll be able to look through your stuff and give you a crash course of what I would say is the best way for you to launch your business. If you aren't a speaker, then doesn't matter. Speaking doesn't have to be on a stage. Now it can be online like this, or creating your own TV show. So 5 ways to build a personal brand, which I've sort of mentioned before, but you might have missed it. First of all, making engaging content, valuable stuff that people want to have. I do a 10-minute show, 10 to 15 minutes every single day, which means that some people love it, some people don't. Sometimes I get massive numbers, sometimes I don't, but people can see your value. If they connect with you once, they can turn around and say, that's somebody that I want to know more about, or at least to know exactly who you are and what you do. Next thing, write a book. I'm in the middle of writing 3 at the moment. I've already written 4. So this book, well, the one I'm working on right now, will blow you away. It falls in, actually, funnily enough, with this whole system about how to be able to speak and launch and pitch your business, which I think you'll find fascinating too. So that book is great. Why? Because it's the best business card you could ever have. You can build up a whole ecosystem around your book. You can tour around your book and sell your book online and at the back of the stage. You can break the chapters into podcasts. You can talk to people who inspired you, and that all adds to the reasons why you should sell this book. I mean, the book itself is something that you can have forever. Tony Robbins probably has about 3 or 4 books that he lives off. Now, it doesn't mean he can't write other books, but when you say about unlimited power and I mean notes from I can't remember, from a friend, it's basically the same core message, but so powerful and so well done that if he updates it, everybody's going to buy a brand new copy of it. Dear friend of mine called Jeff Smith, who's a 7 times world #1 bestseller with his stuff. He's a KPI guy. He's the #1 guy in the world on key performance indicators. He brings out a new book every couple of years and it sells out. Why does it sell out? Because people love his stuff so much. They hire him for gigs. They also want him to speak and train their teams, and he's in the automobile association. So he's in the AA. Hello? Oh, you got a flat tire? No, he's a brilliant expert on everything to do with cars. So therefore, people like Ferrari and Porsche and Harley Davidson and anybody who's got a brum brum going on hires him, and he travels around the world. It's incredible. So that book that you create is really important. Then you're going to be able to speak. Speaking is everything. If you can't communicate and it starts inside your head, how are people going to want to know that you're somebody to work with? Instead, they don't. They choose somebody else who's lighter than you, and they never find out. So speaking's at the heart of everything. Educating yourself so you continue to grow. So constantly pushing yourself, learning stuff, watching this show on a daily basis will really help. I mean, narrowing your niche. People shouldn't necessarily have to work hard to work out what you are and what you mean for them. You should know that already. I've talked about this at length before. So for instance, if you see this diagram here, the hedgehog principle, you can look it up. You can look at the Ikigai, which is a Japanese version of it with 4 circles, but the circles here, what are you best in the world at doing? What do you love? What are you passionate about doing? And what will drive your economic engine? What will people pay for? Get those 3 right, and in the center of it, you have a win. That's what you should be doing for the rest of your life. Does that make sense? Yes, Dave. Thank you so much. Next up, I'm going to go to a video vault and share with you a clip about once you've got your idea about doing your events, and if you're an event manager, this is really useful for you. You can also then consider using all this stuff together to create a TV show. That means that you won't be desperate to wonder whether people are going to come to your event or not. You'll already know because you've been talking to them for 52 weeks since your last event. Intrigued? Well, you should be. Next up, let's have a look in the video vault and I'll explain everything. And here we are now in the 10x stage, which is the premium stage for jysx 2020. I'll be hosting tomorrow, and I'll be talking all about cloud and blockchain and edge computing, and having some of the biggest players in the world joining me on the panel and also giving their keynotes. Very exciting stuff. And for anybody who doesn't get there, imagine how powerful it would be to be able to get a TV show that runs all year round with the updates of every single player, every single part of the change in the game. That's what interests me. So you've got the actual event that happens live, you've got the online version of it, but most people stop there and hope that everybody stays intact and alive in time for the same thing next year. Why stop? Why not keep the whole thing going? It could be even more cost effective when you get it right, and it means that when you have this event come together every single year, it stops being a flagship where you have to attend to find out what happened. It becomes a get-together where all the people you've interacted with for the whole year, all the people you've watched grow, and you've seen the ups and downs of a soap opera that is tech, can actually meet up and just put a name to the face and do some face-to-face business. That's what intrigues me. So in a moment we're going to be going on to a Zoom call. I'll be checking the technology for taking some live calls from all around the world tomorrow, and I'll make sure that the questions are up to date, and they're going to check with me to see that they actually want to answer some and avoid others, and I'm looking forward to it. Speak on stage. And there you go. So if you're running events and you're just starting to see things coming together, you need to change your business model. Events are great, they're very exciting, and the most wonderful things, and I love working on them. And in fact, I've got a big announcement to make this week, which will blow you away. But also, the last year and a half have shown us that you've lost access to your audience. But supposing you are continuing to do these things online, I mean, it's one thing to do a webinar or so on, but to do a regular TV show about the industry, people love it, they gravitate towards it, they can contribute towards it, and they share it. Doesn't mean we're watching every single day, doesn't mean we're watching every episode, but what happens is you have kept them engaged all year round. So when you come around to doing your event, you can get that event up and running very quickly because you've got people who are already loving your stuff. They know you'll deliver. Why? Because you never drop the ball. Otherwise, what you have is you've got a 6-week build-up and a 2-week afterwards, and then you're back to the drawing board, wondering if next year is going to be as good, and even if you're going to be in the same industry. Don't do that. Double down, own your niche, get your branding out, and create that TV show. Love your thoughts and comments as always. Great to have you on my show, and I hope you have a bit of a laugh and you've learned some stuff at the same time. I'll be back same time tomorrow as I do with Dave Crane Daily. Love you to just connect with me and follow so you don't miss a single episode, and contact me at info@davecraneglobal.com, and I will share with you with that on the future episode what you can do to launch your speaking business. And if you can't wait that long, then make sure you check out the stuff I was talking about earlier, which is this, and how to pitch your speaking business. There you go. And all you need to do is go to speakonstage.com and pitch your business. There you go. It's all there. Right. Love you. Take care of yourself. I'll catch you same time tomorrow. Be groovy, and don't steal anything unless it's already yours, in which case put it back and do it as many times as you want. Bye.